Well, good morning. Here we have something a little bit different, a matched pair of HP Herzenberger Patreon and Metalwerker Fabrik AG, to give it its full name. These are Austrian, made sometime in the 1970s perhaps, 0.4 of a cubic inch, and as you can see, fitted with marine heads and flywheels. I've also put props on these because I bench run them with a prop and a water jacket, or rather a tank of water feeding through those two nipples on the jacket. I've put a car exhaust on one of them because they are absolutely insane screamers. The noise, even when you turn it over without firing, the noise from the pistons is quite deafening. But they are exceptional engines, different, although they're a pair, they're different in a couple of ways. The one on the right is known as a 40 PR, PR for Pylon Racer. So it has a rear carburetor throttle, radio control throttle, although for radio control these engines, they're actually designed to go at one speed only, flat out. We'll come back to that in a minute. The one on the left has, as you can see, a front intake, and I only have one carb, but it fits both Venturis, both run on that same carb. The one on the left is known as an F, I think, or something similar for front intake. It's said that the internals are exactly the same, but there's some doubt about whether the piston setup, or rather the piston design, is identical. Maybe not. HP, rather like the German company that is often mistaken for them, HB, that's Helmut Bernhardt, started off in a different industry from engines. HP were, and still are, an Austrian arms manufacturer. Sorry folks, they make cartridges, I don't think guns themselves, but mostly cartridges. They've been surrounded in some controversy in the early 20th century for one reason or another, I can't remember, but they're still going. And like HP, they've stopped making engines, which might be a moral. There may be a moral there. The famous Steve Rothwell in Australia said the quickest way to go bankrupt is to make model engines, and he made possibly the finest 2.5cc racing engine there's been. It's an Oliver clone, if we're allowed to say that without being derogatory. But there we are. Both these engines have, interestingly, the original glow plug, which I think is a Taylor glow plug. Still works. You don't see many of them anymore. I'm told that HP were the first company making mass-produced engines to adopt Schnerler porting. I've seen that written up by one or two people who should know, so I think that's probably correct. These engines are fiendishly powerful for the time. The Pylon Racer on the right puts out, believe it or not, 1.2 brake horsepower at over 20,000 revs. The one on the left puts out a measly 0.9 at about the same revs. The interesting thing is that's quite a difference in power, simply from a change from a rear disc to a front rotary intake. So maybe there is something different on the internals. But either way, these engines are seriously powerful. I bought them from a nice guy on eBay as a pair. He said he used them for about a year in boats and then put them away. I think he said for the last, crikey, 50 years. And so when I got them, I thought, oh, they're going to be in a bad state. But I needn't have worried. They're immaculate. They were free running, free turning. He must have oiled them up well before he put them away with the right sort of oil. And they both went pretty much straight off the bench on standard 80-20 fuel, which is what they're designed for. So I thought I'd just show you something a little different. I don't need two of these, and I might well put one on eBay before too much longer. But in the meantime, thank you for watching. Bye bye.